What's up, witches? Welcome to the weekly refuel. It is so great to be here with all of you today. This is our live group coaching session that happens every Friday, just about every Friday at noon. And today we are going to be talking about sacred time blocking. I was just telling the witches in the bunker that this is a really important topic for me right now. And I imagine that this is going to be very helpful for many of you if you are building your spiritual or wellness business, and especially if you are trying to do that while working a 9 to 5, caring for your families, trying to have a personal life of some kind. You may have already reached the point where you feel exhausted and really burnt out. And we have talked about time blocking in the past. We've talked about some technical ways to approach your schedule, your calendar, and organizing yourself so that you can grow your business while handling all of your other life's responsibilities. But I want to talk about sacred time blocking today because I want you to understand, as I am coming to understand really just recently, how important it is to fold in the spiritual element into your calendar. An organized calendar is great, a planner, etc. is great, but when the spiritual component is missing, that calendar can only take you but so far. And I want to show you how to build a calendar that is rooted in your energetic frequency, rooted in your spiritual practices, and that allows you to find rest, allows you to find community, allows you to feel supported, and still be productive, while also making sure that you are rested and that you are well rounded. So I feel like today's presentation is going to be incredibly, like, for me, it's life changing. That might seem really dramatic, but recently I have been so overwhelmed, so stressed, so tired, after 5 years of building my businesses, that I have found myself. There was a period a few weeks ago where I was laying on the couch, just sleeping and crying for days on end, literally. And it's crazy because I was like, well, but I have a calendar, I have structure, I have, like, what is going on? And realizing that I wasn't taking into account my own energetic vibration, my astrological chart, my human design, who I am as a person. And I was letting my spiritual self get neglected in favor of really focusing on my business self. And when you have a calendar that doesn't honor both sides of who you are going to get exhausted and you are going to burn out. Or if you're too on the spiritual side and not on the business side, then you are going to not make progress. And that will be demoralizing and might even lead you to just give up on trying to build a business around your gifts. So the balance is super important. And I thought I had it under control. And then I realized, oh, snap, I do not have this under control. I am missing something. And these last couple of months have all been about folding that part that was missing, that spiritual part, back into my calendar. And I've learned a lot. And I want to share with you what I've learned and also let you know that, like, I'm going through it too. Like, I am literally taking these lessons and applying them right now. So if you are not already in this place, please don't feel like you are in any way not succeeding or in any way not doing it right. Even me, 5 years down the road with a physical location and a coaching business, I am still learning some really important lessons. So we got this. Now is the perfect time to learn. If you're here for a reason. If you find this message, if it comes across your feed, it's for a reason. And Spirit is calling you to find that balance, either again or perhaps for the first time. So if you're wondering, who I am. I am Ali Kravitz, aka Bronx Witch. I am the founder of Witchwork, which is the only co working space for spiritual and wellness practitioners in New York City. That is where we are broadcasting live from right now. And you are being treated to a presentation that is a part of our weekly refuels. These are the live group coaching sessions that I offer to all of the witches that are in the bunker. The bunker is a private virtual membership space for witchpreneurs where you can find community, resources, where you can connect with each other, where you can get access to information about funding, marketing, etc. And it's a safe space for us. I call it our stronghold. And I'm really excited because I've always had a vision of what the bunker looks like in my mind, like this stronghold that we are in. And thanks to the incredible people at Go Brunch and their super cool platform, I have been able to turn my vision into a real physical place where all the bunker witches are hanging out right now. Do you guys want to see it? Yeah. Check it out. Okay. The bunker witches right now are behind the scenes in our newly designed virtual meeting space. I am so excited. This is for me an example of one of the ways in which we can utilize the emerging technologies that are out there to literally manifest in real life. Like we talk about that a lot as witches, having an idea, a vision in our minds of something that we want to happen in our world and then directing our energy with intention and purpose to making that happen. And it was so cool for me to be able to literally tell the AI feature in Go Brunch what was in my mind, what the bunker looked like. And it was like, I got you. I'm going to create it. And it created this super dope space for us to hang out. So, hey, bunker witches who are hanging out in the meeting room, listening to the presentation, chatting with each other. The meeting room is open 24/7. So the bunker witches can go in there for co working at any time, which is super cool. And I'm thinking about having like a co-working session for us to kind of like officially introduce ourselves to the bunker space. But it's open 24/7. So the witches can go in to the bunker at any time, to the meeting room at any time, and hang out with each other, chat with each other, share resources, work together. And I think it is super, super cool. Our meeting room is also not the only room. We have like 7 other rooms. There is a classroom, which is where I will be live streaming my classes and webinars. There's a shop where you can shop for merch, where you can shop for books, where you can shop my products, my candles, and my teas. There is a Magick hall, which is where we will be meeting for tea and tarot and anything else super witchy. There's a library where you can find resources for funding and other, business resources. So really, really excited. Shout out to Go Brunch for putting this together because I think this is such a great idea. Really makes hanging out with each other interactive, and I think we all enjoy being able to really like engage with each other. So I love it. Very, very cool. Um, so if you want to be a part of the bunker, joining is really easy. The link to join us in the bunker is in the description of this video, but I also pinned it to the top of the chat over here on YouTube. Joining the bunker is completely free for the first 7 days. So I encourage you to sign up, come in, check it out, and see if it's right for you. If you are building your spiritual or wellness business and you're doing it by yourself, if you're one of those people who are talking about, because I see this online so much, oh my gosh, I need a business bestie. I need more entrepreneurial friends. I'm the only person I know that's trying to build a business. Then you are going to really thrive in the bunker. It's also where you get access to group coaching. When I'm done with this presentation, I'm going to go back into the bunker meeting room and answer the bunker witches questions. So you get to ask me questions. You get to pick my brain. So if you've ever been like, Ali, I want to pick your brain. And I'm like, Yeah, okay, get on my calendar. This is a way for you to be able to do that very easily. And if you are thinking about getting a business coach or a mentor, you feel like you need to work with somebody, but maybe you're not ready yet to commit. Maybe you don't know if you found the right person, or you're not sure if financially it's an investment that you can make, then the bunker is a great alternative for you. For your monthly fee, you are able to get group coaching. You're able to pick people's brains. You're able to ask questions. You're able to access resources. And all of this is specific to spiritual and wellness practitioners. It's not random, general, generic business information like what you're probably finding online. It's all specific to the witches of the world. This is all taught by a witch. So definitely join us in the bunker. Hang out with us in these meeting rooms, connect with each other, and get the education that you need to support you as you grow your practice and serve your communities. Okay, I want to see you all there. So, today, like I said, we are talking about sacred time blocking. And I want to really quickly just touch on time blocking in general. Okay. If you are a bunker witch, then you guys already know you have access to all of the replays of all of our refuel sessions. And you can go back and watch all of the different replays on time blocking. If you're here on YouTube, I do have a video or maybe even two on time blocking. So I want you to go back and check that out. So I'm not going to go into hyper detail about that because we could spend quite a bit talking about what it looks like to time block your calendar in the first place. But the ABCs of time blocking are 3 steps. 1, a brain dump, getting everything out of your brain and onto paper. Because I'm sure right now you have a to-do list that is out the ass, and it probably feels like everything on that to-do list is super important and needs to be done right now. And that's not true. But one thing that's going to help is to get it all out of your brain onto a piece of paper. Step 2 is to categorize all of those tasks based on priority. Once you categorize all those tasks, you're going to start to see that not everything actually is so important that it needs to be done right now. Not everything is going to drive revenue. Not everything is going to get you more clients. Some of the things that are weighing on you are administrative, etc. And by categorizing them by priority, that helps you so much to get out of that feeling of I have a million things to do right now. You might have a million things to do, but not right now. And then the third step is to block your calendar. So whether you use a planner or you have a calendar online, whatever the case may be, you are going to block your calendar with these different categories of priority. Okay. So rather than having a calendar where you write different to do lists that you then never get around to, and then you feel bad, and then you feel behind, and then you procrastinate, you're going to create blocks in your calendar based on the category rather than specific tasks. And this is going to give you so much freedom while also keeping you on track and accountable and productive. So if you're like, I'm not really sure exactly how I would do what Ali just said, go and check out the time blocking videos for a full breakdown. But I want to start with just revisiting time blocking in general because, and this came to me last night as I was like laying in bed, decompressing, getting ready for today. I was like, wow, wait a minute. Time blocking is a ritual. Time blocking is a ritual. The rituals that we engage in, the spiritual and magical rituals that we engage in, do not need to look like purple sparkles, cauldrons, crystal balls, candles, and incense. Okay. And you probably already know this because you all are practitioners and you all are teaching other people how to take care of themselves, how to become more spiritual, how to go on their self healing, their spiritual, their energetic, their magical journeys, whatever it is that you do in this world. You're already teaching other people how to do that. So there's a part of you that already knows this, but I feel like it's so much easier to tell other people what to do than it is to take your own advice. Okay. I think I see Fox in the bunker nodding her head like, yeah, it's a lot easier. Okay. And sometimes you just need to be told something so that you actually process it for yourself. So I know that you're already telling your clients, like, listen, It does not have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be candles and incense. It doesn't have to be some big thing. You can have small rituals. You can have practical rituals. You can have very mundane rituals, and they're still rituals. But I want to now say that to you so that you really process that. Because sitting down with your calendar and doing the time blocking exercise is also a ritual. Maybe you light a candle when you do it. Maybe you have some incense. Maybe there's some woo-woo going on while you do it, but maybe not. Either way, it's still a ritual. Any practice that you do consistently with intention is a ritual. So time blocking, even though it feels very like, business and corporate and not very like spiritual, it's a ritual just like your full moon rituals, just like your yoni steam rituals, just like your tarot rituals. This is a ritual as well. If you make it so, if you do it consistently and with intention, it becomes a ritual. How often you do time blocking is going to be up to you. But for me, I was previously doing it like every 3 months or so because that's how long it would take me to get through everything on my like master list. I've started doing it more frequently. I started doing it once a month and refreshing the list once a month, refreshing my calendar once a month. And the reason I've started doing that is because I've started treating time blocking like a ritual instead of just like a business task that I have to do. Time blocking now is one of my spiritual rituals. I do it at the start of the month, and I started this like 2 months ago. So it's not like I've been doing it forever, but for the last 2 months, it's been very helpful. And what I realize it does, and what the intention behind my regular time blocking is, yes, to organize my to-do list, yes, to, have a flowing calendar, whatever. The real intention behind my time blocking ritual is to shift my energy from overwhelm to ease. I'm time blocking for all the practical reasons. But what I'm really starting to do now is time blocking in order to shift my own energy. So as I start to feel overwhelmed, as I start to feel discouraged, as I start to get worried that things aren't working or that I'm running out of time or that maybe something that I tried didn't see the success that I wanted, etc., I'm using time blocking to help pull me out of that funky place and shift my energy back into a place of, I got this. I got this. Okay. I'm not going to do all of this today, but I am going to get to it eventually in the next 30 days. And my time blocking helps me see how that's actually going to happen. Because when you can't see how it's going to happen, it makes it feel like it's an impossibility. So I want you to see time blocking not as something that the business side of you has to do, but that the spiritual side of you should be doing. Time blocking can be a spiritual ritual that helps to shift your energy away from feeling frazzled into feeling in control again. And like you're going to be able to knock everything off your list in a way that is easy and not overwhelming. Okay. So time blocking is spiritual if you make it so. It's a ritual that can be spiritual if you decide to treat it that way. So I encourage you to do that. Don't look at time blocking like, oh, it's one of the things I have to do as a boss. No, it's one of the things you have to do as a witch. It's one of the things that you have to do as a spiritual practitioner, as a wellness practitioner, in order to make sure that you're in the best energy necessary for you to show up the way you want to for the communities that you serve. Okay. So already we've made our calendar a more spiritual calendar. We're doing the same thing we were before, but we're doing our time blocking not because we have to, but because we have an intention of utilizing that to shift our energy the same way we would take a spiritual bath, meditate, etc. Okay? And I love the idea of that you're witching while you're time blocking. So let's start there. Okay. Now, once you have time blocked, The thing that I want you to check on, wait, hold on one second. One second. Getting back in my notes. Okay, cool. Um, so once you get into time blocking as a spiritual ritual, and it's not something that you just do, on your time, whatever, like on your to-do list, then I want you to look at those blocks and see whether or not you have included your spiritual practices into those time blocks. Because I think that's the next thing that we tend to do when we start to lean a little too far into the business side of growing our spiritual businesses, and we start to lose track of the spiritual side of who we are and what our businesses are all about. So once you've time blocked your calendar, look at those blocks. Did you only block your categories of your business to-do list, or did you also include blocks for yourself and for your spiritual practices? If you were doing a full moon ritual back in the day before you decided to take your spiritual business seriously, and now that you've been growing your spiritual business, because you're so busy, because you're so overwhelmed, you're not doing your full moon rituals anymore, there's a problem. We're starting to go too far in the direction of the business side, and we're losing track of the spiritual side. And these are the practices that brought you to where you are right now. These are the practices that gave you clarity about what your next step should be. These are the practices that gave you rest and recharge so that you had the energy to do these things. So make sure that on that calendar, you then block in time for your spiritual practices. So rather than treating them like an afterthought, rather than treating them like something I will get to if I have the time, you should be treating your spiritual practices as just as important as, you know, breaking down the finances this month or working on your marketing strategy, etc. These practices are not insignificant, right? You might be thinking to yourself, like, oh, I don't understand how I'm going to reach more clients or make more money or get more followers, whatever your goal is, by making sure that I do my full moon ritual every month. But I can tell you from experience that it was not your to do list that brought you to the place that you're at right now. It was not learning how to file an LLC that brought you to where you are right now. Your desire to serve your communities, your desire to take your spiritual gifts seriously and turn it into a business that allows you to reach more people and to do it in a way that is sustainable for yourself, that didn't come from a to do list. That didn't come from creating a marketing strategy. That didn't come from working on your website. All of that inspiration and all of that discovery of your purpose on this earth and what you want to do with your life came from the spiritual practices. Nothing has changed. You've just gotten a little bit busier, but you still need to be engaging in those spiritual practices in order to stay rooted in your purpose and have clarity about what your next steps should be. The to-do list is the practical side. The spiritual side is what gives you the clarity and the vision and the inspiration to keep going, to pivot, to move on to the next thing, etc. Okay, so make sure that your calendar includes time blocks for your spiritual practices. And you might want to ask yourself, like, what was I doing before I started trying to be like the tarot reader of the year? What was I doing before I was trying to be booked and busy as a Reiki healer? I was meditating every morning, or I was doing a spiritual bath every month. That was the one for me that I really fell off. I was doing a spiritual bath every month. And as I got busier and more overwhelmed, I stopped doing my spiritual baths. But then I didn't realize that me not doing my spiritual bath was why I was so busy and overwhelmed. My spiritual baths literally make me feel like a new person. It's crazy how much clarity I feel after I take one. And I wasn't doing them because I'm like, I got to pay the bills. I got to, get interns. It's the summertime. We have this event going on. I want to do this campaign. I want to, and I'm doing all of this stuff and I'm not making time for those spiritual things. And then I'm like, why do I feel so confused? Why do I not know what to do next? And it was like, girl, because the spiritual practice that brings you the most clarity, you're literally not doing. So I had to go back into my calendar and actually make a time block for my spiritual baths instead of just being like, oh, I'll get to them, around the full moon whenever I can. I was like, no, no, no. Just as important as my financial time block is my spiritual bath time block. They need to be on my calendar and I need to be consistent about them, not skipping over them, actually doing them just like everything else. Okay. So make sure that after you've done your time blocking, that your spiritual practices are on that calendar. Okay. I feel like I want to call this like energy blocking or something than like time blocking. But the next thing that I want you to consider is your energy flow. Because when I call it time blocking, that puts us in the mindset of like, this is based on when I have time to do something. So let's say you're working a 9 to 5. You might say, okay, I have time in the evenings because I'm not at work to work on my spiritual business, to do readings, to do sessions, to make candles, etc. Yes, that might be the time of day, technically on your calendar, that you could fit that in. But is that energetically the best time for you to be working on those projects? It may not be. It may not be. You might be free in the evenings, but if your job is really tiring, or even if it isn't really tiring, it's just the end of a long day, energetically, you may be exhausted. And trying to force yourself to work on your business during those times where you are not energetically aligned with getting that kind of work done is going to spell disaster. You will not get as much done. You will not utilize that time effectively, and you will end up wasting that time. You'll be distracted. You'll be falling asleep. You'll be moving slowly. The ideas won't be popping. The excitement won't be there. You'll be forcing yourself to drag your way through it. And that is just not going to get you very far. Okay. What is better is to choose times where you are energetically in alignment with the work that you are trying to do. Hello, dear. Okay. Are you energetically in alignment with what it is that you are trying to do? That is a much better way to decide when you should be working on your spiritual business. So, what that might look like is instead of staying up for 2 extra hours at night after your long workday to work on your business, it might look like coming home, having dinner, taking a shower, and going to bed. And then getting up 2 hours early and working on your spiritual business. That may be for you. You might be really energized at night or super energized on the weekend, in which case, then you want to take advantage of that time. But rather than choosing time blocks based on the time of day or when it fits into like your traditional calendar or when it seems like you should be working on things, ask yourself about your energetic clock. We all have an energetic, like 24-hour clock. When do you have the energy and the inspiration to work on your business in your energetic clock? Maybe that's in the middle of the day. So maybe you use your lunch break at work to work on something in your business instead of doing it in the evening. right? So for all of us, that's going to be different. But I want you to start thinking about your calendar as an energetic clock. And rather than putting your time blocks into spaces based on just the calendar of the day, look for the spaces where energetically it's in alignment for you to be working on those categories of your life. Okay. Prayer, meditation. Before I get into that, let me also say, if you're not sure energetically what times of the day, what times during the week, what times during the month, right? Because especially those of us with wombs are on a monthly energetic cycle as well. If you're not sure where your energy is most in alignment with working on different aspects of your spiritual business, you can use your spiritual practices, the same ones that you use for your clients and your customers, to help you with that. Take a look at your birth chart, your astrological chart. If you are into human design, which I wasn't, but I'm now getting like really into because that shit cracks. If you don't know your human, yes, okay, your human design information, maybe look into your human design. If you are a tarot reader and you usually go to spirit for guidance on things of a spiritual nature, sit down at your altar, pull out your cards, speak with your guides. The same spiritual practices that you use to help your clients, use them for yourself. If you're not sure, when should I be really working on my business during the week or during the month? I know I'm free on Mondays, but should I do that? That's my example. We're closed here at Witchwork. Technically, I'm off. I never really feel off, but technically, I'm off on Mondays. And for the longest time, I have tried to make Monday a day where I work on something related to my businesses. And then I realized that energetically, that did not work for me. Monday is a day where energetically I am not in alignment with doing any work. It's a day where I connect with my ancestors. One of my spirit guides, their day is Monday. And I felt very strongly that the reason why Mondays were not working for me as a day to get any work done was because my spirits were literally telling me, we need to be with you that day. We want to spend time with you that day. We want you at the altar, sitting with us in prayer and meditation. We want you in your apartment with the lights down low and you in your pajamas, just, walking around, drinking some tea, watching some YouTube videos, watering the plants. And so I stopped fighting that energetic shift. I stopped fighting what I was energetically aligned with on Mondays. And now Monday is my day for that. I do not take appointments. I do not let you bother me. There are days where I don't even turn on my computer. I don't turn on my phone. I intentionally take that day because energetically, I am not in the space to get work done. So even though time wise, I'm not here at Witchwork. And so the calendar says, hey, you have a whole free day. This would be a great day to get a whole bunch of work done. Energetically, I am not in alignment with that. Spiritually, I am not in alignment with that. And trying to make that work was not working. So use your spiritual practices, astrology, human design, tarot, Reiki, etc., meditation to get clear about when you are energetically in the best place to be working on your business and when you should be resting, spending time with friends, family, doing creative things that have nothing to do with work, etc. Okay? Don't let the calendar, just because it says you're not at work, make you feel like you have to use that time for working on your business. It may not energetically be the right time. Okay. And now we're getting into rest, which is, oh my gosh. This is definitely one of those like pot calling the kettle black moments. Is that the saying? Pot calling the kettle black? Yeah, that's what I'm doing because I'm literally about to tell you that you need to be resting more, even though last night I was up till 3 o'clock in the fucking morning. So we are on this journey together. This is something that we are going to continuously have to revisit because as your spiritual business becomes more successful, there are going to be more opportunities There are going to be more ideas. There are going to be more services you want to offer, more events you want to throw, more things that you want to do. Your calendar is only going to get busier. Building a ritual of rest, building rest into your calendar and understanding how spiritually and energetically important it is to rest is going to make all of those opportunities, all of that expansion possible. You are not going to be able to do it if you don't create a ritual of rest. Going to sleep from this day forward is not just going to bed. It's not just laying down. I want you to see going to bed as one of your spiritual rituals. Just like I want you to see time blocking as one of your spiritual rituals, rest is now one of your spiritual rituals. One of the ways that you can enforce that for yourself is to ritualize that process. Ritualize going to bed. Rather than just taking a shower, putting on your PJs, sitting on your phone for a while, and then laying down, create a ritual that tells your body it is now rest time. This is something that I'm working on. I am not perfect. I was really great for most of the week. Yesterday, I fell off, had some things pile up. I got a little panicked. I was like, oh no, I got to get it done. So this is not me preaching at you. I am sharing this advice with you because I am using it right now. Rest has been something that has been lacking. And that is why I have found myself a few weeks ago on my couch, sleeping, crying, not wanting to do anything for days on end. I don't want you to get to that point. And if you are at that point, I want to help you get out of that. And ritualizing rest is going to help you make rest something that is non-negotiable. So something you might do, and your ritual will look different. It's up to you. But you might designate a period of time before your bedtime, let's say an hour before your bedtime, where you engage in your bedtime ritual. Maybe that includes putting your phone on do not disturb and closing your computer. Maybe it includes putting some theta wave music on in the background. Maybe it includes taking an intentional shower where you release the energy of the day. Maybe it includes prayer, journaling, meditation, some type of a reflection on the day where you take time to ask yourself what you did well, what you're proud of, what you feel like you could have done better, and what your main goal for tomorrow is going to be. But rather than just go, 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 oh shit, I'm falling asleep. Oh my God, I'm dozing on the couch. Let me shower. Let me jump in bed. And then having your brain still in business mode, still in go, go, go mode, your rest when you do that is not really genuine rest. It's not going to do for you what you really need it to do for you. The amount of time that you spend resting is very personal. There's like something now that says that like there's actually a gene or something that explains why some people can get fully rested on like just 3 hours of sleep. I don't know. I don't have that gene, I don't think. Okay. So how many hours you sleep is up to you. But when you make a ritual, I am learning this. When you make a ritual around your sleep for the hour before, maybe also the hour after you wake up, it is going to transform how effective that rest is. I know this because, like I said, I've been trying it. At the beginning of the week, I was glowing. I was like, oh, I fucking can do anything. Okay. I can do anything. Like I was so firing on all cylinders. And it was just from like 1 week of really taking my rest as a ritual seriously, taking an hour before rest to go into rest mode, get my brain programmed for rest mode. And then I only slept for like 6 hours. And then getting up in the morning and spending another 30 minutes in wake up mode, a ritual around waking up with prayer, with meditation, not turning my phone back on, and making that a ritual as well. By doing that, just for that week, it was unbelievable. You would have thought I slept for like 12 hours every night. It made those 6 hours so much more effective. So please, 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 as you balance working your 9 to 5s, raising your families, keeping your friendships and your relationships with building your businesses, do not underestimate how rest will actually allow you to do so much more during the day and so much more better during the day. And the way to really maximize rest and make it a part of your spiritual and your sacred time blocking is to not just block the 6 or 7 hours that you're going to be in bed, but also block time before and time after as your rest ritual. Okay? We're creating rest rituals. All right, so we talked about time blocking and how to ritualize time blocking so that that is a part of your spiritual work as well, and all of the ways that doing it with intention will shift your energy. And I'm going to be doing it once a month now instead of once every few months. We talked about creating your time blocks based around your energetic, strong times as opposed to when the calendar says that you are free. We talked about using your spiritual knowledge that you share with your clients about astrology, human design, tarot, Reiki, etc., the human body, for my massage therapist, my somatic healers, the knowledge that you have that you share with your clients, using those same things that you tell them to do in your life in order to keep you grounded, keep you clear, etc., and not letting the business part of your life overwhelm you to the point that you stop doing the same spiritual and holistic practices that got you to where you are right now. And we talked about ritualizing rest, creating a rest ritual where you designate not just the hours that you're going to be sleeping in bed, but also time before and time after to really maximize your rest. This is sacred time blocking. And this is how we are going to build our businesses without driving ourselves into the ground, exhausting ourselves, and ending up like I did a few weeks ago, crashing out on my couch. Okay? So take this information and use it. If you found this helpful and you're watching on YouTube, I want you to like this video. If you're not already subscribed to me and you want to get this type of group coaching, you want to get this type of business coaching to help you grow your spiritual wellness business, make sure to follow. This is what I'm dishing out these days, and I'm giving out a ton of it. Binge through my videos. There's like, I don't know, since January, about every week, we've been having these group coaching sessions on different topics. So there's so much information and resources on the YouTube channel. And if you are looking for a community, if you want to be able to go behind the scenes into the bunker meeting room where I'm about to go right now to take questions, so you can pick my brain, pick the brain of the other witchpreneurs that are in the space, and grow as a spiritual practitioner, especially if you're not sure if one-to-one coaching is right for you just yet, then join the bunker. The bunker is free to join for the first 7 days. So join us, take a look around, see if it's the right space for you. And then if it's not, no harm, no foul, you can head on out. But I think you're probably going to end up sticking around because it's a really great space. And it now has an unbelievably cool updated look. So I want to see you all there. Thanks for tuning into this video. Comment down below if this was helpful. Let me know if you're engaging in sacred time blocking. Let me know on a scale of 1 to 10 how fucking exhausted you are right now growing your spiritual business. Because if it's on the high end, this video is going to be very, very helpful. And I want you to come back and tell me how these tips and tools improve things for you. Like, let's check in a few weeks after you implement this sacred time blocking and these steps and see if it doesn't make a big difference. It's already making a big difference for me. So I think it's going to make a big difference for you too. But drop a line in the comments and let me know. All right, witches, I will see you in the next one. I'm here almost every Friday. I won't be here next Friday because I will be at Matt Oren's Magically Queer Retreat at the Omega Institute in Rhinebeck, where I will be leading 2 workshops, one on orphaned ancestry, connecting with your ancestors if you are disconnected, and my divine guidance workshop on how to connect with your spirit guides. So I'm super excited. Check my Instagram, link in bio, if you want to come and participate in that. And I will see you the week after for more tips on how to balance the spiritual side and the rest and the self-care with building your business. All right, witches, blessed be. Bye.